morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Merlin, and welcome to a little game called Disturbed. This is like a point and click, not sort of like a point and click, but you get a description, click on what multiple choice answer sort of game. You know the old books. If you'd like to follow the road, go to page 1. If you'd like to turn back, go to page 7 or some shit like that. That's basically what this sort of game is. We click, we make our own journey. All of the animations and stuff are all hand drawn. This is all a hand drawn game, and it looked so cool, so much fun. So this is what we're going to get into. We're going to start. Another dull day passes as you struggle to manage your failing farm. Your crops are beginning to wilt, and your cow is sick. What's wrong with old Daisy? For some time the land has been very quiet. The air has grown thick and foul. Each passing day you feel more uncertain if things will ever return to how they were before. Perhaps it's up to you. You've made up your mind. You are going to do something about it. It's about time if our farm's failing. You stand in front of your humble home, pondering what you should do next. Well, let's go into the house. Let's investigate what's wrong with our little farm here, shall we? Entering the house, you feel a subtle uneasiness, as if the growing blight outside has penetrated the walls of your safe haven. From what you see, however, everything is the same as you left it. Perhaps this may be a good time to just lay in bed and wish that your problems will just go away. You fight the notion, but the temptation is still there. Let's read me journal. Let's get a little update on what's going on here, shall we? Dear journal, another usual day on the farm. The crops are growing with good health. Bethane is also doing quite well. Never disappointed with the milk she provides. No, she's not Bethane, she's Daisy! Or is that Bethan? Bethane sounds like more of a gas, doesn't it? Bethan, not Bethane. Idiot. If things continue to go well, I may be able to invest in some more animals. The farmer can only be so social with a cow. Dear journal, today has been an unfortunate day. Somebody broke into my shed and stole some things. I usually don't mind if someone steals a bite to eat from the garden, but to take my equipment? Well, I put a lock on the door and hid the key. Nobody will ever get into my stuff again. Dear journal, I woke one night to a foul smell I have never come across before. I took a step outside to see what I could find, but I found nothing after searching about the farm. Whatever it is must be a bad. I should make a trip to the city to see what this is about. Okay, so let's open our chest. You open the chest and find nothing more than a pile of papers. It seems you have less valuables than you anticipated. You close the chest. Right, we'll have a rest then if we're going to head on our way to town. You lay in your bed and fall asleep to the light sound of the wind blowing outside the grass. You begin to hear whispers and chants, but you can't make anything of it. An image appears before you, a stone, glowing as if it was still alive. The chants get louder as your vision grows into more detail. You reach towards the stone with your hand. As your finger makes contact, a clash of thunder rattles around you. Your clothing and skin start to flake away, like dust in the wind. The particles flow in the stone, sapping the life from your body. You feel pain you've never experienced before, and fear begins to flood over you. You suddenly see yourself laying in bed, never to wake up again. What the fuck? We've literally done one thing. We've gone in the house and we've died. Okay, this time, we're going the fuck back outside. You stand in front of your humble home, pondering what you should do next. Let's go in the shed. You attempt to open the shed door, but the door won't budge. You remember locking it some time ago, but you can't remember what you did with the key. Sounds about right for us farmers. Right, we'll go to the crops. A path divides the crops you have laboured so hard to prosper these past months. A penetrating odour reminds you that your plants are decaying away, and time is running short. Let's go into the pen. Oh no! A toxic fume burns your nose as you enter the pen. Your poor cow lays lifeless on the ground as the growing blight slowly begins to consume her body. You feel sick to your stomach as you stand here, especially as you stare at the black mushrooms that dot the ground. My poor Beth Ann! I got to know her so well. Well, I get a feeling I'm going to die if I grab a mushroom. You kneel down and grab a mushroom. As you begin to rip it out of the ground, a cloud of spores spray from the mushroom. Your hands begin to burn and melt as you observe them. Slowly your body shrivels up into a dark, moist consistency as the poison spreads. You die, eventually, after crawling about on the ground. Your adventure ends here. At least I got myself another achievement. That's something. I want to try and get to the end of this story. Okay, so this time we'll inspect the water and hopefully we won't die. You inspect the water, look for anything abnormal. You notice that the water has a dark consistency to it. Dropping a stone into it, black particles from the bottom swirl about like a thunderstorm. Your face shrivels in disgust. We'll leave the pen. I'm not grabbing those mushrooms no more. So go back to the house, don't do that. We'll follow the path. You continue down the trail for quite a while until you see a cave off in the distance. You pause, questioning if there could be something helpful in there. We'll continue to the cave. There's a faint whistle from the wind passing between the rocks. The temperature significantly cools as you enter the cave. You notice that there is a different smell, but you welcome it, comparing it to the deathly blight found outside. We'll go further in. We're adventurers. I think I'm dead. Before you take your next step, a large bear emerges from the darkness. You realise that you have made a terrible mistake, and even thinking that something helpful could be... We're going to fight that bear. You scan the ground and notice that there are numerous rocks you can grab and throw at the bear. You begin to do so as the bear approaches you. One after the other, you throw the rocks as hard as you can. The bear charges at you as you bend over to grab another rock. Tackling you to the ground, the bear bites your neck. Your body quickly goes limp, and you die. Your adventure ends here. Well, I'm dead again. Okay, so we've continued down the path this time. We've avoided the cave, and you come to a stop as you stumble upon a broken wagon. Let's inspect that wagon. You look about the mess and find bits of food and clothes scattered about the scene. You notice a key on the ground during your search. You pick up the key and continue on your way. Maybe that was the key to my shed. I want to go back. After what felt like an hour or two, you reach a bridge. Nearby, the path is a small shack, similar to the house you have on the farm. The man that lives here is a kind fellow from what you recall. Maybe he is home. We'll inspect the shack. You walk towards the structure and knock on the door. You scratch the back of your head, figuring that the person that lives here is currently occupied, if not elsewhere. You remember picking up a key from the wagon, and you use it on the door. The door unlocks. You decide to help yourself in. We've now broken... Well, we haven't broken and entered, have we? We've just entered. Observing the empty room, you realise something terrible must have taken place here. The room is a wreck, just like the wagon. You are overcome with fear as you think of the man that used to dwell here. Okay, well... Inspect the book. You pick up the book and start to flip through the pages. You discover that this is a journal. Reading a passage or two can't hurt. Today's trading went smoothly, thank goodness. What I am thrilled about most, however, Today's trading went smoothly, thank goodness. What I'm thrilled about most, however, is that one of my buddies mentioned to me at the conclusion of our day. Apparently there is a pond nearby that has some of the biggest fish in the region. With a good catch, I can make enough to move things forward. I was caught off guard when he mentioned that nobody has been able to catch any from there. I guess your typical fishing rod won't do the trick, but what can be done about it then? Something to be intrigued about, I suppose. These past couple of weeks have been really rough for me. My trading business has gone under, and I've lost nearly everything I own. This has pushed me to extremes. But that can't be helped now. I'm leaving this place forever, never to return. The land is dying, and there is nothing but darkness here. Anyone reading this should leave while they can. You can't find a name to give this man, but regardless of the name, you got chills running down your spine. You observe the trapdoor and notice a lock keeping it closed. With the key, you unlock the latch and get it open. Without thinking, you travel downwards. Walking down the steps leading below, the air attacks your body with a piercing cold. You notice immediately that there is a woman chained to the wall. She doesn't seem to notice you as you study her. You feel darkness surround you as you stay in this awful place. I don't know if I want to talk to her. I feel I'm going to die. You tremble as you try to form words in your mouth. You there. Let me out of here. The pressure of such a demand makes you freeze. You take a moment to think about the situation before you respond. What got you locked up here to begin with? You'll never believe me, even if I told you the truth. Something brought you here. Please have mercy on me. We got free her, haven't we? We can't just leave a woman down here all by herself. You approach her and unlock the shackles that bind her. As her arm becomes free, she moans in pain. Oh, thank you so much. The woman struggles to regain her strength, but starts to stand up on her own. As she gets up, she turns toward you. I will now do you a favour. What seemed to be the face of the helpless woman disappears as a horrible image manifests itself before you. You feel the chilling grip of her bone hands lock onto your arms. Energy flees from your body and you fall to your knees. You feel the essence of your life slip away as everything goes black. It is unfortunate that your journey ends here. Talk to the woman. We've done all this, but this time we're going to decline. I will not. No, don't go. With nothing else to interact with, you make your way up the stairs. As you exit, you can hear the woman laugh behind you. Oh, we heard her all right. The voice causes the shack to shake. You leave the shack as fast as you could. You leave the shack and cross the bridge before something bad happens. You cross the bridge safely and continue down the trail. After all this has happened, you feel you should take a moment to rest. You find a spot under a tree and sit down. Getting comfortable, you head back into the tree and gaze into the sky. Will take a nap. Your eyes close and your body relaxes. You fall asleep within seconds. As your mind wanders, you see a blurry image. Details emerge as you gaze. You wonder who this might be. A bad feeling then overcomes you and you realise who this is. You try to wake yourself up. You wake up and jump to your feet, looking about yourself and your surroundings. All seems well. You can't help but feel fearful that something bad will happen to you if you stay here. Moving forwards seems like the only logical option now. And I thought that would be the option to get me killed, not the pick in the grass one. You reach a point where the trail splits into two paths. Which way should you go? Left or right? Go left. After continuing down the path for some time, you come across a stop. You notice there is some sort of trail that leads through the grass up toward a nearby hill. If you had not stopped, you probably would have never noticed. Which way would you go? Right, so we continue down the path, follow the trail in the grass, or go back to where the path splits. We'll follow the trail in the grass, shall we? Following a subtle trail in the grass, you stumble upon what looks like a grave. Ah, fuck it, I was going to die. We're going to get killed. You approach the grave. You look at the sword with intrigue. Before you can touch the sword, a ghostly figure appears before you. You freeze before the apparition. The sword, may I have it? The blade is cursed. I am bound here by the pain of my past. If you desire this sword, free me from it. You slowly motion for the sword. Fool! Only something of a pure essence can free me. A rare hope, like a flower found in darkness. You reach for the sword. Before you can lay a finger on it, the spirit grabs your arm. A sharp pain flows over your body as your flesh melts off your bones. What fragments remain fall to the ground. Your adventure ends here. Okay, so we've done this. What happens then if I just back away from the sword? You listen to the spectre and leave the sword. The figure fades out of view. Okay, we'll continue on. You pause to see that there is a lake nearby. The trail continues on to your right. Inspect that lake. You step near the lake and look down into it. Resting underwater is an orb of some sort sitting at the bottom of the lake. There is something strange about it, as if it were calling out to you. Ah, another death. You close your eyes and jump into the lake. You open your eyes to the stone sitting before you. You start to make your way towards it. A large fish comes into view. It quickly notices you with its mouth stretched open. You try to leave for the surface, but the fish catches up to you. You quickly find yourself helpless before the creature. You close your eyes as the giant fish rips your body apart with its teeth. You die a very painful death. Your adventure ends here. We're going to leave that. It's probably not time to be jumping into there. You pause to see that there is a lake nearby. I've read that. Okay, so we'll continue along the trail. The faint trail comes to an end. There is a collection of stone pillars down the hill. Beyond the hill is a large field of grass. We'll inspect the stone pillars first. You stand before the large stones arranged in the shape of a circle. In the centre is a stone what appears to be in some sort of slot or hole. No doubt about it, something is meant to be played. Ah! That's to be the one from the lake then. Seeing that you can't do anything, you head back. So, the faint trail comes to an end. Right, I've read that. Let's explore the fields then. You find yourself gazing over a grass field with hills rolling off the distance. As if a trick upon your eyes, you see a unicorn run across the field. It disappears out of sight before you can do anything. Surely the unique powers of a unicorn can help you with your quest. but there is clearly something wrong. If there isn't only a way to charm it. Okay, so we'll go back. Can we go in the lake now that we know what we need the stone for? Or are we going to die? Dive in. No, we're going to die. Okay, so this time we'll just continue down the path rather than going across the to find the sword. So you walk for some time to find an endless field of grass. There is a stone well near the path. Inspect the well. You peer down the well. Other than the evident water at the bottom, there is a coin resting against the wall of the well. If possible, you feel you should go down and take the coin. Grab that coin. You lean over the edge of the wall. There is no possible way you can obtain the coin by reaching for it. With this in mind, you turn and climb down along the long inner wall of the well. You take a few successful steps down, but your luck runs out. You misplace your foot and you fall. Tumbling about, your body clashes against the stone walls. With a single knock on the head, you lose all consciousness of your accident. With a splash, you fall into the water. Your body sinks effortlessly and you drown without realising it. Your adventure ends here. Leave the coin. We'll continue on. Walking over hills of grass and grain, you reach the walls of Aramor. Several times a year, you come here to trade goods from the farm. You discover the plague that has spread to your farm has also spread all the way out here. The path before you is overrun with blight. I'm going to die, aren't I? Continue across. You've come a long way and you don't desire to turn back now. You march forward into the tainted soil. Before you can realise what's happened, you sink completely under the ill soil. Darkness consumes you and your lungs struggle for air. Your body burns in pain as you suffocate and die. Okay, so we've done everything on the left, haven't we? So now we need to go... Well, we've done everything we can for now. I still believe we need to get in that lake at some point to pick up the stone and put it in that sort of shriny thing that they've made. So we're going to go right for now and see what we can do. You reach the end of the pathway in the distance. There's a tower looking over the area. A gate secures passage to the area with a wall around the property. Also of interest, there is a tree that has a hole carved into it. Right, we'll inspect the tree first then. You approach the tree and notice the hole is big enough for you to fit your hand in. Yeah, really? You look and see something shiny in the hole as if it were metal. Feeling around with your hand, you find 3 knobs. One on the right, one centred in the middle and one on the left. Let's press those knobs. Oh, fuck. Left. Middle. Right. The knobs lock in place. You wait for a moment but nothing happens. It must be some sort of combination. Okay, so let's just make this up. We'll go middle this time. Right. Left. Combination. Okay, so we'll go left, right, middle. Right, middle, left. I take it we don't know the combination then. Middle, right, left. Okay, we don't know the combination. I can't remember what the combinations are. So let's go to the gate. You approach the gate cautiously. Standing before the tower, your heart begins to sink. This is no doubt the birthplace of the spreading plague. There is a fountain before you with statues on your right and left. Okay, we'll inspect the fountain. There is a large haze about the fountain. The water is black and the smell burns with every breath. You feel a slight pull toward the fountain as if it were calling for something. Stone on the left. Oh dear. You see an old stone statue of an angel that has been consumed by vines of thorn. The angel is holding a book in one hand, the other with one finger pointed up towards the sky. You feel it best to leave the statue alone. And what about the one on the right? Before you stands an old angel statue that has broken many areas. With one hand, the angel is holding some sort of bowl, while the other hand is hovering over the bowl. You notice there is only 2 remaining fingers on the angel's other hand. You feel you should keep your distance and just observe the statue. Okay, so we're going to enter the tower then. It's the only option left. You approach the door. As you reach for the doorknob, an invisible barrier stops you. It must be some sort of magic. Okay, so what am I supposed to do then? Was there anything we could do with the fountain? No. Middle. No. Left, middle, right. No. Left, middle, left. No. Left, right, right. Aha! We did it! It was left, right, right. Left, right, right. Remember that, folks. You hear the rumbling of rocks as the ground starts to shift underneath you. Everything goes dark and you sink below the surface. The hole above you seals up, trapping you underground. You find yourself with no evident way back and with no evident way out, but the path before you into darkness. Your only choice is to move forward. You see 3 separate paths within the walls of the cavern. Which path do you choose? We'll go left first. You cautiously make your way through the darkness. You come to a split in paths. Which way do you go? Left again. You move forward into the darkness. You see path do you choose? Is this where we've just been? Left again. Okay, so we'll go left and then we'll go right. You struggle forward as the way before you becomes completely dark. You notice that there is a light off in the distance and you continue to make your way forward. Eventually, you make it into some sort of concrete room. Turning around, you see a hole in the wall where you just came from. Your guess is that it wasn't part of the initial design. You turn around to see a door. There being little to nothing in the room, you decide to move through the doorway. You find yourself in what looks like a basement. You turn about to discover that in each direction there is a door. Boxes of supplies and debris litter the floor and corners of the room. You notice that there are several markings on the doors and floor, some of which scare you. You got a bad feeling about this place. Let's inspect the supplies first. You walk about the room, browsing through the dust-covered storage. You find some rope in one of the boxes. It feels strong to the touch and has minimal wear. You decide to take the rope. Now that, if we can get back outside, we could probably get the cord with that, couldn't we? Enter the left door. Isn't this where we've just been? Continue on. Okay, we're back here. So, left. Which way do we go? Right. Back in here, so we'll go through the middle door then. You enter a room full of metal cages. Before you is a hallway marked with questionable markings. You don't like the feeling you have about this place. Whatever was in these cages surely did not like to be locked up. You notice that there is an animal in the cage on the left of the room, but from the dark stains on its fur, it is dead. You cautiously walk down the hallway, entering a room with 2 cell doors. Before you can do anything, a large hound leaps in front of you. The beast doesn't look very vicious, but one wrong move can surely be the end of you. Realising that you are not prepared for a moment like this, you slowly back away towards the other room. To your dismay, the dog follows your every move. Before you can do anything, the dog leaps forward at you. You don't survive long and die a painful death. Your adventure ends here. Okay, so this time we'll go through the right door. You enter a small room. There is a large cauldron in the centre of the room with wood resting beneath. There is nothing on the shelves, as if someone cleaned this place out. You look into the pot but find nothing in it. With nothing else to see, you exit the room. Okay, so we'll back out the door behind us. You walk up the steps. You enter a large room. The air is polluted with dust and spiderweb cover the wall and ceiling. Where should you go now? Okay, we'll start upstairs then. You discover what looks like a private library. There is a passageway before you with bookcases on the left and right. Let's browse those books. You take a moment to look at the books. Some of them catch your eye. Rituals of the Ancients. You flip around until something grabs your attention. Pillars of stone. Years before current times, there were unique religious practices that resolve the Stonehenge. It is said that these stones are lined up in a special way and often organised in a circular pattern. Organising the stones this way unlocks an ancient power researchers still have trouble understanding. In the middle of the circle would be a stone or two from the keystone to be rested upon. This is the great mystery of this ancient practice. From ancient records, it is written that the energies from the surrounding stones channel their power into the keystone. You stop reading because the next page of the book has been torn out. There is a bent page marking a section of the book. You turn to it. The art of charming is not necessarily limited to the instrument, but how the musician goes about playing given instrument. Some are definitely easier to use than others, and for a skill such as this, there are a few instruments recommended. The harp is one of the recommended instruments. From vicious dogs to shy unicorns, the soothed voice of the harp can calm the troubled heart. But of course, not all creatures can fall for this simple trick. But it can mean the difference between life and death in some circumstances. And I forgot that. Flipping through the pages, there is one in particular that has ink markings all over it. Raw energy is a powerful substance not to be trifled with, and is merely a myth that such energies exist. One does not simply stumble upon a pillar of godly power. even if such a fate is yours. Bare hands cannot contain the force. It must be bent and channeled into a specifically crafted vessel to carry it. There have been accounts across time of individuals possessing such power. Although they pass away as sand, their relics of power remain as powerful artifacts that nations around the world would fight for. Okay, we'll leave that. We'll move forwards. You walk more upstairs. You pause as you notice a stone carving of a person praying that is attached to the wall. There is something odd about it, but you can't put your finger on it. With caution, you continue up the stairs. You enter a strange room with a large globe centred about the room. There are windows that let the light shine through. You notice there is a chest resting against the wall to the right. You also notice there is another passageway like the previous room. So what we're going to do, we're going to leave this episode here. We're going to save that. Badooshk. It looks like this game's going to go on for a little while. It's not quite as short as I thought it was going to be. Because obviously once you get the harp, if I assume there's a harp we can get and to try and tame the unicorn for something. We've got to go back to the lake to get the keystone out without being eaten. So we'll come back to this. I'm enjoying this game. I hope you guys are as well. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you liked it, please leave a like and a comment down in the comment sections below. And do not forget to subscribe for more great content from Another Game. But until the next time, goodbye.